When it comes to real estate, everything matters. Whether you're a realtor, homeowner, buyer, or seller, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title is here to inform, entertain, and inspire you. Host Bill Napick from Stewart Title will talk with guests about what really matters when it comes to owning, buying, and selling real estate. Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title starts right now. Here's your host, Bill Napick.
And welcome to the show, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. I am your host, Bill Napick, going forth every week to inform, entertain, and sometimes even inspire. So whether you're listening right here in Houston, Texas, anywhere around the gigantic Houston area, perhaps you're in California, Washington, D.C., Chicago, it doesn't matter. We have assembled some great guests, as always, for you today. And let's say you are in the Houston area, or you're going to be in the Houston area November 5th, this coming Monday. There is an event, Houston Texan. He is an NFL great right here doing tremendous things on the field for the Houston Texans and doing tremendous things to help children right here with special needs in Houston. His name is Whitney Mercilus. So this Monday, November 5th, you can dine with Mercy 6 to 9 p.m. on Monday, ballroom at Pio Place, 500 Texas Street. You can go to his website, which is with Mercy, M-E-R-C-I. That's withmercy.org. You will get the details there at the event. Of course, it's to help children with special needs. In addition, we'll be honoring Houston notables right there, Andre Johnson, Chester Pitts, Lynn Wyatt, Lauren Anderson, and you're going to hear right in a few seconds Whitney talk about his foundation. So withmercy.org for this event, November 5th. And also you're going to hear from Lauren Anderson, also a great Houston notable in the dance world. So some great things going on, super guests on this show. Don't forget, Monday, November 5th, Dine with Mercy. That's right, Whitney Mercilus. And now, here is my interview with Whitney. And welcome to the show. We are honored to have Whitney Mercilus, Houston Texans, an all-around good guy. Whitney, welcome to the show.
Oh, appreciate you. Thank you for having me.
Well, we are honored to have you here, and people know you on the field doing incredible work here in Houston, being the super ambassador for football and for Houston, Texas. We're so honored. But let's tell people some of the things that you do outside the field. In particular, you have an organization that you want to tell people about today. Let's tell them.
Yeah, most definitely. It's called the With Mercy Foundation. And really what we do is help out a lot of families who raise children with disabilities. And we rotate disabilities each year. First year when we became an organization, we focused on autism. This year, the second year, we are focusing on cerebral palsy. So really what we do is really look at what disabilities are out there that aren't really being talked about or not really coming to light, and we pick those disabilities and bring them to light and really try to help those families out as much as we can through other organizations as well, too, monetarily for all the pharmaceuticals, medical supplies, things of that nature, any programs that are out there to get those families to be able to help them out as well.
So it's actually like you are listening to the community, to people in need, and determining, and actually being able, in that way, it sounds like you're able to help more people along the way.
Oh, most definitely, and that's really the goal of it. Just to really combine the efforts. With a lot of these organizations such as Easter Seals, FACES, Autism Rescue Angels, and many more, and combine those groups in order to really extend an arm out there to those families that aren't probably being reached.
And when did you begin this, and what inspired you to help in this major way?
Oh gosh, started this about 2016.
Fairly new, really.
Yeah, fairly new, no doubt, and we're still growing and we're still working. And I would say the community has received us well, and we've gotten great feedback from a lot of families. And the drive that really got me to start this is because I love working with children and what I studied in college, which was community health, disability rehabilitation. So I just wanted to marry the two up and be able to really start helping these families.
And one would think, as far as your professional career, that in itself, that takes a lot of time, a lot of training, a lot of your attention. How do you find time to help?
Oh gosh, I got to say, this would not be possible without my board members and also my team. They just really work together really great in order to put these events together and really go out there and put our the values that we have pretty much on to reality, I'd say, and really get out there and really start helping a lot of these families.
And we're talking with Whitney Mercilus, the Houston Texans, doing a tremendous job. Whitney, let's tell people right off the bat the website, because certainly people hear the show here in Houston at the time of broadcast, on the internet after the fact, but sometimes even far away. So let's tell people, if they want to help out, what should they do?
Oh, they can just go down to online withmercy.org, or follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We're everywhere, and really follow everything that we're doing. Also donate through the With Mercy webpage as well too, and just know that every dollar that you donate, all 100% proceeds go directly to families.
Withmercy.org. I like that website too.
Oh, you
That's
like it?
clever
Yeah.
how you did that. Super awesome. Well, let's tell people, as far as talk about football a little bit, your professional career and the way that you're successful. People listen to the show. Certainly we have a lot of real estate professionals, but all kinds of people listen, people that want to buy a home, that are thinking about it, or that just like real estate. So we touch many professions out there, but everybody is trying to be successful, whatever they do. And in the football world, you have to, I would think, have the right mindset to be able to be successful.
Yep.
Certainly be in top physical condition. What are some of the things you think about when you go forth every game or every practice to do your best?
I'd say it's just the details are in the little things. The thing is like, you got to think about the small things in the game, as far as, your footwork, your hand placement, your pad level, your hip bend, your knee bend, your flexibility, your nutrition, and the list just goes on. I'm telling you, it's a lot of work that goes into
Every
it.
detail.
Yeah, exactly. The minute details. I mean, you can have the big picture, but if you don't have the small details that put the glue together, and pretty much it's just all going to fall apart, and you're not going to have the success that you want.
That sounds awesome. Also, before we started, you said you had 2 dogs.
2 dogs, yeah. German Shepherd, Yorkshire Terrier, mixed with Chihuahua.
They're probably listening to the show right now, you think?
Gosh, sometimes they get tired of my voice.
Is that right? Well, let me tell you. Also, let's tell people again the website, should they want to reach out and help, and they can help anywhere in the world with your website. They can just reach out.
It's withmercy.org, and definitely can reach out there and, whether they want to donate or just follow our story and follow everything that we're doing, they can go to the website, withmercy.org.
Withmercy.org. Ladies and gentlemen, Whitney Mercilus, thank you so much for being on our show and here at our Stewart title event in Kirby Grove.
Oh, appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me on.
Super awesome. And that's right. You heard it. We had a super event just the other week there. Not only Whitney Mercilus was there, and we had Chester Pitts. We had Lauren Anderson. You're going to hear from Lauren. You heard the background noise. That is always exciting. And we always want to thank Roseanne Rogers, our sales manager. She has access and puts together some tremendous guests for the show and for our Stewart event. So Roseanne is doing an incredible job as our sales manager here at Stewart Title. So now we're going to hear from Lauren Anderson. And by the way, Lauren, I have never talked to a ballerina, a professional dancer like Lauren, who has achieved so much in her world. In addition, her ballet slippers are in the Smithsonian Institute along with some of her outfits. Here is Lauren Anderson. And here we are at our Stewart Title event, and now we have the honor and opportunity to talk with Lauren Anderson, former Houston Ballet, so many distinctions in the world of ballet. Lauren, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here.
Well, we're excited. And also, let's tell people, we don't have the opportunity, and I bet a lot of people don't have the opportunity to talk with someone that has been in the highest realms in the ballet world. So first of all, let's tell people, as far as being in the ballet, what started you and started your interest in even going after that profession?
Okay, well, let's start with I'm a native Houstonian. I'm from Houston, Texas. And I was 7 when I started dancing. My parents decided that, back in the day, when you had an overactive child, they either went into sports or ballet or something like that. I did play the violin, but that was a little bit later. And I didn't like ballet when I first started because I wasn't any good. But once we started moving across the floor to the music, it took me, and I didn't have a choice. I had to do it.
And it's interesting. Music does so many things to people. Not everybody wants to dance, but in your case, it sounds like the music actually captivated you, and that you knew early on, it sounds like.
Early on. When I was about 12 years old, I decided that is exactly what I want to be as a ballerina.
And in the idea of being a ballerina, what is the first thing that you have to learn to be a ballerina? I bet most people don't know because we don't get to talk to ballerinas too often.
Okay, well, the first thing they work on is coordination and balance. Just regular, like skipping and jumping and running. You would not believe how hard it is to skip if you've never really done it.
I haven't skipped in many
That's
years.
what I'm saying. But, I mean, there's endurance and muscle strength, and it's like being a football player without running into each other.
But also, it's like, I guess, everything else. You have to have the right mental mindset, in addition to top physical condition.
Well, you can't help but get into top physical condition. People don't realize that we're athletes, that we dance 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. We don't just go down on the weekends and do a couple hours here and there. It's a 9 to 5. So it's like being an Olympian, but for a really long period of time.
Give people the idea of, and I think they can apply this to whatever they do, but it sounds like focus is so important. When you're in that mode, when you're in that moment or moments when you're performing, what are some of the things that you're thinking about, or is it just automatic after all the practice?
Well, we've done a lot of rehearsal. We've done a lot of practicing, a lot of repetition, but it's a live performance. So anything can happen in a live performance.
Things can go wrong.
A lot of things can go wrong. So focus is absolutely important. And the discipline of I always say you can't be a wimp to be a ballerina. You have to be tough-minded because you have to be willing to work with somebody and to be good by yourself. Because sometimes when you become the ballerina, you're out there alone.
Well, I like that. That's right. I think everything in life we have to be tough-minded, and it's not easy to have that mindset all the time.
No, it's not.
But I think in a performance where details are so critical, the stakes are high. Would that be safe to say?
Absolutely. The stakes are high, but also we're artists, so we're sensitive. We're hard, tough on ourselves, competitive, yet sensitive. So it's a lot, and that's why the average age of retirement of a ballerina is 29. It's like I'm telling you, it's like being a football player. No one believes me.
Wow.
Yeah. So I mean, I was fortunate enough to make it to 41. The last time I danced, I was 44, a while ago. But I love it. I don't miss the daily rigors. My body likes not hurting every night when I go home. It's like, I tell you, it's like being a football player.
And we just talked to a great football player. Let's tell people about, now, after your career, what you're doing now. I know you're into lecturing and you're helping people. But before we talk about that, just quickly, how do you stay in top physical condition after the dancing? And because that's so important for everybody at any age.
Right. Well, I go to the gym. I also teach ballet every day. I teach dance all the time. And right now I work in education and community engagement, which means that I go into underserved communities and teach dance classes in schools and community centers. And so I'm busy. I'm really busy. Then I teach dance all over the world on my weekends and my vacation or my holidays. So I'm a little bit busy, just a little.
Let's tell people what you're doing as far as helping a little bit more in the community, because you are helping a lot. And I think that's part of when we help people in any way, that feels good for both someone that's helping and the recipients.
Absolutely. I always say I have one of the toughest feel-good jobs there is. I get to go into schools and work with children that don't always get to be children. Because in their homes, their parents are always gone working 2 and 3 jobs.
They're growing up fast.
They're growing up fast. They're taking care of little brothers and sisters. A lot of budget cuts take away the arts out of the schools. So they get to either come to the Houston Ballet or we go to them for free to the school. We deal with a lot of social emotional learning in dance class. I know that doesn't seem like it should go together, but it does. And then there's a feel-good part is they get to come to see performances for free. And I get to MC them and introduce them to something they've never seen before. We have programs where they come to the ballet and take classes from me, and we give scholarships. So there's opportunities for them to become dancers in the Houston Ballet Academy. Also, if I know the side of town that they live on, I know every dance school in the area, so I can direct them where they might need to go. I'm always encouraging them to dance. I encourage adults to dance. Everyone should dance.
And I think we're fortunate to have you in Houston, Texas, helping people and encouraging people. And dance and music go together so much.
Absolutely.
They are a part can be such an important part of everyone's life. Lauren, before we close out the segment, what else would you like people to know that are listening about anything?
Well, actually, I have shoes in the Smithsonian.
Oh, yes.
If you happen to make it to Washington, D.C., the latest Smithsonian museum is called the National African American Museum of History and Culture. And my pointe shoes, my toe shoes, and a couple of my costumes are on the 3rd floor, the 4th floor of the Smithsonian Museum.
That would be a great
It's
thing
amazing.
to do.
It's amazing.
And Lauren, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Most people don't know that Stewart offers business, home, and auto insurance. In fact, Stewart Insurance and Risk Management has been doing that and more for over 10 years. And they partner with many leading insurance companies to offer great rates. They're a national insurance agency operating in all 50 states, delivering a broad range of insurance products. Whether you need a home insurance quote for a client's home closing or your own insurance needs, you can count on them. Call 866-845-4676. That's 866-845-4676. Stewart Insurance and Risk Management is here to help.
And welcome back, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. And now we have Stewart Title, Scott Gillen. He is the Senior VP of Industry Relations and also the president of the Houston Mortgage Bankers Association. Scott, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Bill. Thanks for having me.
Here we are in Houston. So many things are going on. It is incredible. First of all, let's tell people about your role at the Houston Mortgage Bankers Association.
So I serve as president of the Mortgage Bankers Association here in Houston. We're a group, probably about 150 mortgage bankers and also some service providers that provide support for the mortgage community. We've got loan officers, processors, we've got executives, all involved in the association, really just trying to drive awareness about the mortgage banking community and real estate finance.
And you have great events all the time. Let's tell people about your events if they're here in Houston and they want to attend.
Yeah, we just got done with probably our best event of the year. It's the Oktoberfest. We did it at a place called King's Beer House in the Heights. Had about 130 people there. It was a great event. Going forward, we have lunches every month. About 9 months of the year, we have monthly luncheons over at Maggiano's in the gallery area. We have an event. Our luncheon in November is November 14th. We've got Jeff Blum from the Houston Astros. The announcer for the Astros is going to speak to us, tell us about what a great season the Astros had. And then we have what we call our Old Timers or Legends luncheon in December. And it's always the second Wednesday of the month. We also have a joint holiday party. We get together with other groups that specialize in mortgage banking or real estate. So we've got the Greater Houston Association of Mortgage Brokers, what we call the APMW, the Association of Professional Mortgage Women. We all get together and we have a Christmas event supporting child advocates. So that's December 4th at the Rainbow Lodge.
And there's, other than the speakers, Scott, I always enjoy when I'm able to. Most of the time they're on Wednesday, so I don't get there. But I love the events because it's also a great opportunity to meet people in the real estate profession, and you really get nice crowds there, and you can meet some of the same, you can see the same friends that you have before, but also meet some new people along the way.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity to network. We have a lot of realtors that attend the event. As I said, a lot of loan officers that attend the event. It's a great opportunity to get together, share success stories, talk about the market, and really, kind of understand what's going on. Houston's a big town. We've got, people that work all over this town. So we get to hear from people, that come on down from Kingwood or Clear Lake or the Woodlands, come in and kind of tell us what's going on in their market because let's face it, real estate is very localized. So everybody gets into their local area and focuses on that local area primarily. So they don't get to hear as much about what's going on around town. We're a big city.
And they say the fourth largest, but they say we're soon going to be the third largest. And if the highways are any representation, I believe it all the time. So let's tell people some of the things that are going on in the mortgage world. And I think one thing that you want to talk about is e-closing. So if people don't know what that is, let's give them an idea.
Yeah, we're seeing a migration, and I'd call it more of a digital transformation in real estate finance and in the mortgage industry in general. Consumers are very accustomed to having everything at their fingertips today, working on their cell phones. And we're starting to see this transformation where the origination process as well as the closing process is changing to a digital process. Consumers are able to do their loan apps online. They're able to get approved much more quickly. The data's a lot cleaner because it's all digitized and you're not manually keying information. And that's really started to change the dynamic of the origination process, and now it's bleeding through to the closing process. We have a lot of lender partners like Thrive Mortgage that are doing these e-closings, which really speeds up the process. Right now, consumers are all about convenience. What we've done historically with having folks come to the closing table and spend an hour and a half to 2 hours, it really doesn't play into that convenience card. Consumers want to use their time wisely. They don't want to necessarily jump in traffic if they don't have to. So what we're really starting to see is lenders owning a process around the closing side, basically saying, hey, we're going to change this dynamic and we're going to make that consumer experience at closing much shorter, much more efficient, and really much more intelligent. The documents get to them in advance. They're able to review them. They're able to really close with confidence because they've seen all of the information in advance. And then they come in and they execute. One time they sign their signature. It embeds a signature on all the documents. So we're seeing closings happen in as little as 15 to 20 minutes. In a lot of
that's
markets.
really quick.
Yeah.
15 to 20 minutes.
Yep.
So how long has this been in the works, and how many e-closings have we had, or give us an idea right here in Houston, and how do you see the future on this?
So it originally started back in the early 2000s. 2005, 2006, I believe Stewart did their first e-closing. When the market kind of fell apart, 2007, 2008, it largely went away. And to some degree, we weren't quite ready technologically to support it then. If you think about it, the iPhone came out in 2007. So in 2005, when we did our first one, consumers weren't digitally enabled the way they are today. Fast forward, to 13, 14 years later, everybody's got a smartphone. Everybody has apps that they're using to track, everything in their life, whether it's ordering a pizza or ordering a cup of coffee. And we're seeing that transform into the closing side. Today, we probably do about 100 to 120 a month nationally. Probably 20% of that's in Texas. We're continuing to see more and more expansion, especially in the second half of 2018. We expect 2019 to see a big ramp in that because, again, lenders are starting to come on board and really try to manage the experience at closing. And it's important that consumers enjoy that closing experience because that's our last shot to talk to the consumer. Right? They're buying a house. It's our last opportunity to get the referral. It's our last opportunity to really show what we can do, whether it's the realtor or the loan officer or we as the settlement agent. That's our last opportunity, and we want to take advantage and make it as efficient and quick as we can, but give them the information they need so that they know what they're signing when they close on that loan.
And would it be safe to say that there are still a lot of realtors, mortgage professionals that are not aware that this can be done, or maybe they're not confident about it? What's the situation there?
It's 2018 has been a learning curve year. It's exposing the realtor community, exposing the loan officer community, and really lenders getting on board has largely happened throughout the course of 2018. We saw a little activity in 2017. As I said, it started in 2005, and it was happening all through that period. But 2018 really seems to be the year of education, the year of awareness. Texas actually passed a law in 2017 allowing for closings to happen fully electronically via webcam. First state to do it was Virginia. Texas passed a law last year. It went into effect July of this year. We actually closed that first transaction in Texas. Stewart Title closed it with Thrive Mortgage, a consumer in Katy. So that awareness is starting to get out there. The legal functions are now in place to be able to support those types of closings. But there are technology upgrades that need to happen at title companies. There's an awareness campaign that needs to happen with consumers and with real estate agents, and that's really what we're seeing now. And I think you'll see more and more of that going into 19 and 20.
So perhaps we could say that this last quarter and this past year is that year of awareness and education and information. Perhaps 2019 will be the year of some traction where, and even as they're aware, people listening right now that may not have heard about this, you may have someone buying a home right now that says, hey, I heard about this e-closing. I want to do the e-closing. So we'll probably get some real momentum and traction next year. That should be very exciting. And what if someone is out there right now and they say, I'm closing here in December or the end of November, I want to have an e-closing. What should they do?
They should talk to their lender first and foremost. Talk to the lenders, especially if they're shopping for homes. They need to go out and get pre-qualified. They're talking to lenders like Thrive Mortgage. They need to reach out in advance and say, hey, how's my closing process going to work? Not everybody's can do it, and not everybody wants to do it. An electronic transaction is something that the consumer can opt into. But it has to be supported by the lender. the lender has to be able to do it because of the requirements they have when they sell that loan to whoever the end investor is.
And Scott, say with the last few minutes here in this segment, what else would you like people to know about e-closing or really anything else?
I would just keep in mind that we're rapidly changing from a technology perspective in the real estate finance industry. You're starting to see a lot of changes that are going to affect how you buy a house, how your data is captured when you're buying that house. And certainly, you know, if you're in the real estate community or the lending community, be open-minded to it. Consumers want convenience. We have seen an uptick on closings at consumers' houses, closings at consumers' offices. This is about making the experience that the consumer wants at the end of the day. They're making a huge financial transaction when they buy a home. In many cases, they need that hand-holding. They want to come to our office. That's great. That's what we're here to provide to them. If you've got a sophisticated investor or you've got somebody who has bought several houses, they may not want that. And you just got to be open to understand what's important for the consumer and what will make it convenient for them.
And certainly at Stewart Title, we are poised to help anyone in their situation and help them in a tremendous way. Also, Scott, if someone wants to reach out to you, what should they do?
They can call my office at 713-625-8775. Easiest way to track me down is by email. That number or that email address is sgillen, that's SGILLEN, at stewart.com.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Scott Gillen. Scott, thanks for being on the show. We're going to come back with even more after this short break. Stay with us. Welcome back, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title, your host, Bill Nampick. And now we were talking about mortgage companies and e-closings. We now have Erin Merryman. She is the branch manager of Thrive Mortgage right there on Oak Street in Kingwood, Texas. Erin, welcome to the show.
Thanks. Thanks very much, Bill.
Well, it's great to see. And also, there you go, just with your address, I'm noticing this now. Oak Street, Kingwood, we have a lot of lumber up there.
A lot of lumber, that's for sure, yeah.
So, in the meantime,
it's the livable forest.
That's what they say. I love that title, the livable forest. And quite frankly, though, I've made the drive many times. When you drive north and past Kingwood, there's still big forests up there.
Quite a bit, yeah.
So let's tell people, first of all, Erin, about your company, Thrive Mortgage, and a little, maybe a distinction or two.
Well, Thrive Mortgage, we just converted our name this August. We were formerly Georgetown Mortgage. Georgetown was basically a local owned and operated mortgage company out of Georgetown, Texas. And they have expanded immensely over the years and decided about 2 years ago they wanted to work on more of a national type of platform name. Since we're in 11 other states, not all those other states are going to be real familiar with what Georgetown means. So, they put a consensus together with the marketing department, and everybody decided with the culture, the family orientation, that they wanted to go to the Thrive Mortgage. So we can thrive.
That we can thrive, and then also the people that you serve day in and day out can also thrive with that new real estate purchase that they've just signed off on. So let's tell people, as far as e-closings, first of all, let's just give people an idea, other than e-closings, the activity-wise. What's it like right now up in the Kingwood area right now with transaction? Are you all busy at the last quarter?
We have actually just finally picked back up again. We had quite a lull for a little bit. Not really sure why. I assume it's economics, but, and the rate environment has been increasing slowly but surely. So, But lately, yes, it's picked back up. This third quarter has been awesome.
That's right. Speaking of that, I have to ask you the question I ask many people in the mortgage world, and that is, how many times a day does someone say, "Hey, Erin, what's the rate?" Does that ever happen?
It's all day, every day.
How about that?
Yeah, just instantly, what's the rate? And it's just not that generic.
And I guess the answer is it depends.
It does.
It
always
depends on so many things.
Loan, rate, type, term, all of it. Yeah.
It is. So here we are again at the end of the year. Things are the activity is good, but also this time of year we're thinking about the future, 2019. I can't believe it's right around the corner, but we're planning, and we also think about how things are going to be. If you were to speculate, just saying, what do you think the activity will begin like when we start out 2019?
I think the forecast is supposed to be just very, very similar to 2017, actually. 2018 had a little bit of a lull, but they're forecasting more of a 2017.
So that'll be very interesting. So let's tell people, we talked with Scott about the e-closings, and I know you're familiar with that, and you have been involved with transactions that are with the e-closing. From your perspective, give people an idea from the mortgage person's perspective about the e-closing and perhaps how it's different.
To me, it's different in the fact that, of course, it's easier, much easier.
For all parties?
All parties. All parties, top to bottom. For the lender, we don't have to worry about was a document executed properly. As long as that customer signs their name once properly, it will load it on all 34 pages that they normally would have to put a pen to the paper. So it's just much more convenient. The post-closing aspect is, nobody has to put together a package because it's already contained electronically. So it's just a much easier process for everyone. All in all, I think, as long as the consumer is comfortable with electronics these days, it's just a much preferred way to go about doing it.
I think those are gigantic advantages, especially when you're talking about accuracy. Mm-hmm. You put your signature down the one time. It sounds like it's really great. And also, I'm thinking from a realtor's perspective, and the people buying or selling the home, they save time.
Much. The loan will fund instantly as soon as all signatures are loaded into the system. It's no longer a 30-minute wait for them to fax documents or email documents over to be reviewed. It's just instant.
That was the word that was about to come out of my mind. The idea of waiting,
yes.
I won't say would be eliminated. There will still be a process, but it'll be streamlined, and we just won't, all parties, if it's safe to say, will not have to wait as long. Would that be accurate?
Absolutely, yes. Yeah. It takes an hour and 20-minute closing down to 15 to 20 minutes.
That is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
So, and let's tell people, with Thrive Mortgage, you have been embracing the idea of e-closings. When did you first begin the e-closings in let's say your Kingwood branch,
January of 2016 was, I was the first one at Thrive to do an e-closing, a conventional loan.
So you're the expert.
I am the expert.
I like that.
And then we literally just rolled out the government loans going into the FHA and VA, which I never imagined would happen, into this e-closing. So again, that's even more paper that people would have to sign at closing. That's taking that away. So really excited about that.
Very, very interesting. And what is when you have the experience with it, let's say you're working with a real estate professional, realtor that has not been a part of an e-closing transaction, mm-hmm. and they're on board or they come on board with it, and it originates perhaps with you, the mortgage person, and then what is the reaction you get from the realtor that sits 15 minutes versus maybe the last time they were there for 3 hours?
Most of the time it's I can't believe it or wow. I mean, really, it is. They're very, very pleasantly surprised.
I like that.
The first few, obviously, you have your bumps and bruises, but now it's just a very streamlined process.
And that's a great endorsement, I think, of any process. When something is presented a certain way, maybe, I don't know if I should use the word promise to be shorter or whatever, however, but when someone comes back and says, oh my goodness, it's just like you said.
Yeah.
That is a tremendous endorsement of a process, in this case, e-closing, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
So would you say, as we look ahead again to 2019, would you say there at your branch, there's going to be more e-closings?
Yeah, absolutely. They're actually even going to be where we actually closed a virtual e-closing with a gentleman out of the country. So he didn't have to go to the consulate for a notary.
So here's another advantage you're talking about.
Yeah, so it's a different type of notary system, but they literally do like a webcam closing.
That's
from
great.
One country to another. So it really has helped with all types of things.
Okay, now I've never been at your office. However, I'm kind of picturing if the signal goes up and says we need to do an e-closing. Well, let's call Erin. Is that what happens?
That would be the preferred comment. Yes.
See that? I was never there, but I had that figured out.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
Yeah.
Magic. But anyway, let's tell people, what else would you like them to know about e-closings? And let's say you were to buy a property yourself.
Yes.
Would you use e-closing,
Absolutely.
knowing what you know?
I mean,
there's no question.
I would, no question. The whole process. Yes, and then I wouldn't have to do anything because I wouldn't have to even read the papers.
It would be easy. It'd be like saying, I guess, do you want to take a horse and buggy to the radio station, or do you want to take a car?
Right.
Maybe?
Absolutely. Yes, most definitely. Yeah.
Well, in this case, you did drive here to the station.
I did, and it was a very long drive from Kingwood. Yes.
Imagine if you would have done the horse and buggy. That would have been ridiculous.
I would still not be here.
So, also, let's tell people, if they want to seek your services at your fine company, Thrive Mortgage, what should they do? How should they reach out, Erin? What's the phone number up there?
My phone number at my office is 281-361-0312. And my website would give you all my information. It's just emerryman.com. That's MERRYMAN.com.
The office number is 281-361-0312.
Yes.
That's 281-361-0312. And I'm also noticing here we are approaching the Christmas season, and you have a Christmas name.
Yes, I do.
Merryman. Huh?
Yes, yes.
I like that.
Merryman.
So let's tell people also, as far as Thrive Mortgage, you guys are doing an incredible job up there. And you say you're also in 11 other states?
11 other states, yeah. Yes. We have 45 branches in 11 other states.
That's amazing. I bet you're the only representative that's been on the radio from their company.
As far as I know,
today.
I'm not sure. Yes, definitely
at least
for today. Yes.
Once again, Erin, should they reach out to you, they can call 281-361-0312. Feel free to call Erin Merryman. They may want to ask the rate, right?
Yes, absolutely.
You'll even take that call?
I will take that call.
Very nice. And we're going to take a short break. Thank you so much, Erin Merryman with Thrive Mortgage. We're coming right back with even more. Stay with us.
Most people don't know that Stewart offers business, home, and auto insurance. In fact, Stewart Insurance and Risk Management has been doing that and more for over 10 years. And they partner with many leading insurance companies to offer great rates. They're a national insurance agency operating in all 50 states, delivering a broad range of insurance products. Whether you need a home insurance quote for a client's home closing or your own insurance needs, you can count on them. Call 866-845-4676. That's 866-845-4676. Stewart Insurance and Risk Management is here to help.
And welcome back. Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Now we're going to talk to another person from our company, Stewart Title, Melissa Noel. Another tremendous Christmas name. She is the branch operations manager in our Kingwood location, and we have 2 locations. Melissa, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And let's tell people, in case they've been to a Stewart Title in Kingwood, which location are you at?
I'm at the 1710 West Lake Houston Parkway location, which is right on the north side of Lake Houston.
And there's a north and south up there, and I remember that office. It's a beautiful office, and you're closing real estate transactions there every day.
Yes, sir.
In an incredible way, I hear.
I hope so.
Let's give people an idea. With title companies, there's an air of mystery about title companies, and they're like, title companies, what's all that? Well, anyway, as far as that goes, as the branch manager, give people an idea of what a branch manager does, a few bullet points at a title company, in particular, Stewart Title.
Okay. Well, I've been a branch manager at Stewart Title Kingwood for a couple of years now. So basically, I have a dual role there. I'm an escrow officer, so I do conduct closings. I also oversee the other closers that are there, as well as the processors, the funders. So we just all work together to make everything happen like clockwork. We do a lot of marketing to realtors, lenders, and we're excited to be working with Erin today, too.
That's right. And when you said like clockwork, because to me, I mentioned this before, that all the components of a real estate transaction, it's like putting together a Swiss watch, because there's so many different things that are a part that have to be right for everything to work at the closing, for it to go in a tremendous way, right?
That's correct.
By the way, you also have Justin Ramirez out there, our business development officer. He's out there developing business in a tremendous way as well.
Yes, he is. We're glad Justin came on board with Stewart Title. He's been in the real estate business for several years, and he was a great addition to our office.
He really is a tremendous work ethic, and this guy knows so many realtors out there, right?
Yes, he does.
Well, let's tell people, Melissa, about the e-closing from your perspective. You've been closing real estate transactions for many years, and now here comes the e-closing. So let's say in the Kingwood area, are you doing many of them, say, since the half of the year here in 18?
We haven't had a whole lot in 18 because, like Scott and Erin said, people are getting used to it, but it is the new way of doing things, and we hope to see more in our office. It makes the process so much easier for everybody that's involved in the transaction. It's so much quicker, as they mentioned before. It really cuts down on the closing time, also the post-closing time for us as escrow officers and processors. So the customers are able to view their documents prior to closing, which cuts down on a lot of questions in the closing. It cuts down on confusion for the consumer who might be the first-time home buyer because they're not used to this process. So they've at least had some time to review this information, ask any questions that they might have to their loan officer. And then when they come to closing, they're a lot more comfortable because they're, of course, aware of what they're doing. and they just simply scan through the documents on the computer. They sign the iPad. It attaches the signature to all of the documents, and they're immediately uploaded to the lender. So then we can hand them keys, and they can walk out happy homeowners.
And we want people to walk out happy, and it does happen all the time. The other thing, you mentioned the term, the category in a closing called post-closing. Now, let's forget e-closing for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Typically with post-closing situations, how many things need to be done, or how often is there something that needs to be done after the closing? So it's kind of like, and correct me if I'm wrong because I am not an expert, but it sounds like it's tying up loose ends. Would that be correct?
Oh, yes, sir. It starts with the funding process. So as soon as the documents are signed on a typical traditional closing, we do have to scan everything to the lender for funding. They have to review the documents to, of course, make sure that we had everything signed correctly. They have to then issue funding authorization to us. They have to send us their money, and then we have to put together the documents in a package, which has to be sent via FedEx for the lender.
That sounds like a lot of things.
It is. So this e-closing cuts down all of that because everything is uploaded immediately once a signature is done. So we don't have to spend the extra time to do that, and the lender has their package to fund immediately.
That sounds great. And very important for people to know, certainly it sounds like at your Kingwood branch, you are poised and ready to serve people as far as e-closing.
Oh, of course we
So
are.
let the word go forth right now from this little microphone.
Yes, sir.
And they can reach you, Melissa, at, is it 281-359-1280?
Yes, sir.
So our Kingwood office, 281-359-1280, ready for action up there to close real estate transaction in the Kingwood area with the e-closing. Give us an idea, too. You have been in this profession for quite a while. Let's tell people what it is that you love about serving people in this tremendous way at Stewart Title.
Oh, it's so satisfying to put someone in a home. You know, I know that the lender probably feels the same way we do. To be able to hand someone keys to their first home purchase, or maybe it's an investment property or a vacation home, there's nothing more satisfying than having someone walk away happy with a new home.
And when we think of that term, the American dream, owning a home goes hand in hand with that.
That is exactly it, yes.
There you go. Well, thank you so much, Melissa, Noel. Merry Christmas. I'm giving you an early Merry Christmas. Ladies and gentlemen, Melissa Noel, the branch operations manager from Stewart Title in Kingwood. Thank you for being on the show, Melissa.
Thanks again for having us.
And we're going to come right back with even more. Stay with us.
Most people don't know that Stewart offers business, home, and auto insurance. In fact, Stewart Insurance and Risk Management has been doing that and more for over 10 years. And they partner with many leading insurance companies to offer great rates. They're a national insurance agency operating in all 50 states, delivering a broad range of insurance products. Whether you need a home insurance quote for a client's home closing or your own insurance needs, you can count on them. Call 866-845-4676. That's 866-845-4676. Stewart Insurance and Risk Management is here to help.
And we're with Michelle Steppen with Stewart Insurance and Risk Management. Hello, Michelle.
Hey, Bill. How's it going?
It's going great. When we think about insurance, there are so many insurance companies. I mean, competition is out there for all of us in any walk of life. But when we think about insurance, home, auto, all those insurance needs that people have, what are some of the distinctions when people work with Stewart Insurance and Risk Management?
That's a great question. You know, there's so many positive things that a customer can experience working with us. First of all of our insurance agents are licensed. You know, they go through extensive training to obtain that license. But that's just the beginning. Once they get licensed, then they go through a comprehensive training program that we've developed meant to help them communicate with a customer about the things that are important. So we've talked at length before about how complex insurance can be, and our goal is ultimately to simplify it, put it into terms that everybody can understand, and then help people to be confident in the decisions that they make about their coverage. So we've remodeled the status quo for our own people, and we train them, we encourage them, we encourage growth and professionalism, and our goal is that every time they communicate with our team, regardless of who it is, from the top to the bottom, that they get that same feel. We want them to feel like they hugged us through the phone. And I mean that with all my heart.
In fact, the people with your company and people that are on your team, it's almost like they're interpreters. They're interpreting the language of insurance
No
to
doubt.
those that need it and helping them find the right blend of insurance for them.
Absolutely. And Bill, I have immense respect for those people who have written and underwritten policy forms, but it is absolutely legalese. It is written by attorneys, and it's often very complex. So we simplify that. We make it easy to understand, and we constantly empower our customers as they come to us. We want them to know, first of all, what we can be for them as advocates through the process of purchasing insurance, and then also at claim time. And we empower them to make those decisions through education. It's important that every moment we have with a customer that they're taking from us value, not just in the policy that they have, but the relationship and the experience.
Indeed, you are making the complex simple for the person that needs the insurance, and that's so important. In addition, you're also raising the customer experience as far as customer service goes, because one of the things that I love when you call Stewart Insurance and Risk Management, you could talk to someone with not a problem.
Absolutely. Again, we don't have the call prompts. When you call, you get somebody live on the phone, and you're going to have somebody that can help you through whatever it is that you're going through, whether it's a need for new insurance quotes or whether you're working on renewing your policies with us or just average policy changes. When you buy a vehicle, you're going to work with somebody who cares about you, who's confident, and can help you to be confident as you go through that process. And I like to say this, and I say it confidently, that nobody else is out there doing what we do with our customers, and I'm proud of that. So we continue to build that environment, and customers are going to enjoy every experience they have with us.
Very nice. Making the complex simple. Michelle, let's tell them how they can reach out.
Sure. You can reach us at 866-845-4676. And again, that's 866-845-4676.
I'm going to call right now. Thanks, Michelle.
Please do. Thanks, Bill.
And welcome back to Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. As we wind up this incredible show, thank you for joining us once again. And now he's back. Scott Gillen. He's our Senior VP of Industry Relations and the President of the Houston Mortgage Bankers Association. Scott Gillen.
Bill, thanks for having me today. I really appreciate the time. I want to thank Erin for coming down from Thrive Mortgage. We have a great partnership with Thrive. They're a great company. Their culture is awesome. The new name just bleeds exactly who they are. We've got partnerships with them all around the state. In Colorado, we're doing some closing work with them. So they're a great company, and I really appreciate you coming down. I also want to make sure and extend the invitation again to anybody out there that's interested in coming to any of the Houston Mortgage Bankers Association events. The website's houston-mba.org. We'd love to have folks show up at our luncheon. Certainly come to our Christmas party. It's all for charity, all for child advocates. Bring a gift, and it's free entry, and it's at the Rainbow Lodge, which is just an awesome location.
And that's right. I forgot about that. That's a great place, that Rainbow Lodge.
It is
Let's
awesome.
tell them the date again on that, Scott.
December 4th. It's a Tuesday.
So that's a Tuesday. I might even be able to go to that. I'm going to put that on my calendar. And the website again is?
Houston-mba.org.
Very nice, ladies and gentlemen. Scott Gillen, check them out. Those are tremendous events every time you have it, every month, but especially Christmas. Get your gifts ready. And Erin Merryman from Thrive Mortgage. Erin, welcome back.
Thanks, Scott.
Scott?
Sorry, Bill.
He's Scott.
Sorry.
Okay, yeah. But you
Thanks,
can
Bill.
call me
Yes,
Scott if
I
you want.
could.
In
Yes,
the meantime,
we can all be together.
Erin,
Yes.
I like that. So,
Thanks.
So before we wind up the show, let's tell people what else you want them to know about Thrive Mortgage or anything else, or even about the livable forest.
Well, of course, Kingwood is a fantastic place, but Thrive. Well, at Thrive, we truly do thrive to make your mortgage experience just as pleasant as they can be. You know, getting a mortgage is not an easy process; it's a job in of itself. But we try to make it fun and enjoyable, and again, fast and smooth.
In fact, I remember a while back with going through the mortgage process. There's just so much information that the mortgage company wants.
It's very invasive.
And then it seems like, oh, there's one more thing. It's almost like Columbo. Remember him?
Right.
I'm dating myself once again.
Yes.
He's like, oh, but there's just one more thing, right?
Yeah.
But you make it fun.
We do. We try to make it fun, and we really try to not do the one more thing. Yeah.
There you go. So let's tell people, Erin Merryman, again, how they can reach out to you.
If you'd call me at 281-361-0312.
That easy. 281-361-0312. Erin Merryman also poised and ready to help people with e-closings. And now, Justin Ramirez from Stewart Title. He's our business development officer right there in the Kingwood branch that Melissa works at, and even more. Justin, welcome to the show.
Hey, Bill. Thanks for having me again.
And thanks for bringing some tremendous guests here today. But let's tell people your outlook of the, here we are ending the year, helping people. You're doing it every day, ending the year and looking forward. How's it look?
Things are going well. As I think Erin mentioned a little earlier, the market might have dipped a little bit out there, and I think there's a few various reasons for that. Interest rates hiking, it's that time of year. Of course, there's an election right around the corner. We still got some hurricanes in the Gulf, so I think that might create a little hesitancy. But what I've been seeing here lately is the market is starting to pick back up, so of course we're all excited about that.
And Justin, I know you're doing an incredible job. Your boss raves about you all the time. In the meantime, let's tell people if they want to close their real estate transaction at Stewart Title in Kingwood, the livable forest, what should they do?
Well, they can either reach our Kingwood office, which, of course, Melissa Noel was on earlier. They can reach us at 281-359-1280. Or, of course, we have our Atascocita office available. That number is 281-812-2233. And if there's anything I can help our real estate community with out there, you can reach me at 346-600-4081.
One more time on your number.
346-600-4081.
Thank you, Justin Ramirez. And don't be sad that the show is ending at the time of broadcast, because guess what? It never really ends, because you can always go to Stewart.com/Houston. That's right, Stewart.com/Houston. You can hear this show again and again. The serial number is 248 shows. So if you want to go back to show number 10, show number 2, show number 150, it doesn't matter. They're all there except show number 1, because we can't find it. So we'll see you next week. Stewart.com/Houston. Thank you to all the guests. Thank you, guys. And we'll see you next week.
Thanks, Bill.